Very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. The thought of the day is the roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are sweet. It is said by Aristotle. As you all know that the pandemic situation is there, you all are at your home. So I think this is the best time to invest in books. You can read more and more books and you can get more and more knowledge, and ultimately that knowledge is going to help you somewhere in your life. Clear? Knowledge is never waste. Clear? It is going to help you directly or indirectly in your life. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is a lecture for the subject Banking Law and Practice Paper 1. What we did in the last lecture we have started with the topic that is the banker's right to set up the customer's account. On the request of some of the students, I am going to revise this topic again in today's lecture, that this is the banker's right to set up. When this right arises, here just read the line once. Done? Okay. So, what is written here that I am explaining in some other simple words that when a person is having more than one account in the bank, in the same bank, here I am repeating again, when a person having more than one account or more than one type of account in the same bank, in that situation, if one account shows the credit balance and another account shows the debit balance, in that situation to recover the loan amount which is in fault, clear, which is default or which is due, clear, in that situation the banker is having the right to club the balance of both the accounts, to club the balance or to combine the balance of both the accounts to recover the loan amount. For an example, suppose the customer is having a current account and the second is the savings account. In the current account, the customer has taken a overdraft of 10,000 rupees, and in the saving account there is a balance of 20,000 rupees. Clear? Or suppose 25,000. For the saving account, the balance is 25,000 and overdraft is 10,000 in the current account. If the person become insolvent and the person is not able to pay the overdraft amount, in that situation, what the banker can do, the banker is having the right to combine both the accounts. First one it is the current account, the second one is the savings account. So minus 10,000 from the current account and plus 25,000 from the savings account. So ultimately the final balance, the resultant balance will be just 15,000 positive, or you can say the credit balance in the savings account will be counted just 15,000, not the 25,000. Why? Because 10,000 is used by the banker to recover the due amount which is in default in case in the current account. Why? Because overdraft has taken by the customer and the customer is not able to pay the overdraft facility. So this right to combine the balance of both the accounts is known as the banker's right to set off. Clear? It is a contract between the banker and borrower that generally the relationship between the banker and borrower is debtor and creditor, and the contract implies that the borrower has to pay a promise to repay the money which is borrowed by him, and if the customer is not able to fulfill this promise, then the banker can exercise some of the rights. So here one of the right is banker's right to set up the accounts. I hope it is very clear. So now here ingredients of the setup. What do you mean by here ingredients? Ingredients means you can say the basic conditions that should be fulfilled. Then only the banker can exercise the right of setup. Again I am repeating, ingredients are the basic conditions that must be fulfilled. Then only the banker can satisfy or the banker can exercise the right of the setup. If any one of these condition is not fulfilled out of these ingredients, then the banker cannot exercise the right of setup. That's why they are known as the ingredients. Clear? You can say they are the basic components for any product. Here product is the right of the set off. Here if the banker wants to exercise this right of set off, so these all are the conditions that must be fulfilled. So here one paragraph is written for you. Just read that one. Done. Here the banker can exercise the right of set off only when the money owed to him is a sum certain which is due and where there is a no agreement expressed or implied to the contrary. Now I am going to do, I am going to break this sentence or this paragraph into some of the points so it will be easy for you to understood. The first line is banker can exercise the right of the set off only when the money owed to him must be some certain. So first ingredient is the date must be some certain. Now here what do you mean by this line that date must be some certain means suppose the person wants to exercise the right of setup and the notice must be given to the customer that the banker is going to combine the balance of both the accounts. So in the notice the sum here means amount. The amount must be clearly written. Suppose the person has taken a loan and the person is not able to pay the loan amount with interest. So in the notice, it is clearly written. Suppose the amount which is due is 1 lakh rupees. So out of 1 lakh, for an example, 70,000 is the principal amount, 20,000 is the interest amount, and 10,000 is the other charges or the late fees which is charged by the banker. So this bifurcation must be clear that 70,000 is the principal amount, 20,000 is the interest amount, and 10,000 is the charges which is charged by the bank. So the amount must be exact. It should be certain. The banker cannot write that, suppose in a notice, the banker cannot write that 70,000 plus interest plus charges. Yeah, what is the amount of interest and what is the amount of charges that banker going to charge? Everything must be clearly written. That's why the debt must be some certain. I hope it is clear to you. Some certain means it should be exact, it should not be approximate amount. Clear what the banker is going to charge, what the amount banker is going to recover out of the account. It must be very, very clear. Clear? That's why it is known as the sum certain. The second one, due against the same party. First, that it should be due, as we discussed in the introduction also, that the banker, the customer must be having both the accounts in the same bank. Yeah, suppose the banker is having the current account in BOB and the banker is having the saving account in SBI. In that situation, the bankers cannot combine the account. Why? Because these two are not the same party. One party is the BOB, Bank of Baroda, and the second party is SBI, State Bank of India. Yeah. So in that situation, the banker cannot combine the accounts. The banker can combine the accounts only and only when the dues are against the same party. Clear? In here, party means the bank. When your dues is against the same bank, then only the banker can combine the accounts. Clear? Suppose you have taken a loan from HDFC and you are having an account in Axis Bank. In that situation, the banker cannot combine the accounts to recover the loan amount which is default. So both the accounts, clear, of which the balance is going to be club. Clear? Both the accounts which the banker is going to combine, that both the accounts must be in the same bank. Yeah, I hope it is clear. The due must be, due means the amount which is remain unpaid to pay. Yeah, in that situation, the amount must be for due against the same party, against the same bank. The third one is the debt must be due immediately, not for future. Suppose here loan amount or the loan installment is paid by the customer every 6 monthly. Clear? Half yearly means half yearly the customer has to pay the installment with interest. In that situation, suppose a person is going to pay the installment in June ending and December ending. So the customer can recover, or the customer can combine the account on 1st July if the amount is due, if the amount is defaulty. So the customer can combine the account in on 1st July for the installment which is due on 31st June. Clear? The banker cannot recover the amount for the December. The banker can recover the amount which is due, or you can say the banker can recover the past dues only. The banker cannot recover the future dues. Clear? The banker can in the month of July, the banker can recover the installment of June. In the month of July, the banker cannot recover the installment for December. I hope it is clear. So debt must be due immediately and not for the future. Immediately means 31st June it is due. The banker can combine the account on 1st July. But banker on the 1st July, banker can recover the amount which is due on 31st June. Banker cannot recover the amount which is due on 31st December. So the banker cannot recover the future dues. The banker can recover the past dues after combining the accounts. I hope it is clear. Recover means, what do you mean by here recover? Here the banker is going to recover the amount by combining the balance of both the accounts. Yes. So how to recover from the next account? Which account is having the credit balance? From that account the banker is going to recover. So from that account the banker can recover only the past amount. The banker cannot recover the future amount. The fourth one is there is no agreement of contrary. Contrary here means you can say oppositions. Clear? There should be no agreement that on that base of agreement the bank customer can oppose this activity of the banker. Suppose there is a contract made between the banker and customer that in any situation banker cannot club the balance. Clear? So according to the contract, what the banker has to do, banker cannot club the balance. Why? Because this types of contract is made between the customer and banker. In that situation, the banker cannot exercise the right of set off. Why? Because this type of contract is there. So the condition, the ingredient says that there should not be this type of contract. Yeah, if this type of contract will be there, then the banker cannot exercise the right of set off. So there should not be any contract of contrary on the basis that a customer can claim against the banker in court. I hope it is clear. So these all are the ingredients, these all are the basic conditions that should be fulfilled. Then only the person who is the banker can exercise the right of set off. Then only the banker can club the account of both the account of the customer. Then the second is the automatic right of set off. Here in case of ingredients, what the banker has to do, banker has to inform the customer that the banker is going to combine the account in a written form. Yes. What is the difference between these ingredients and this automatic right of set off? In case of this situation, the banker has to inform the customer that the banker is going to combine the accounts. Here you can say the last notice must be given to the customer to pay the amount. The notice in the notice the time period will be given that suppose you have to pay in 7 days, otherwise the banker is going to combine both the accounts. So these types of notice must be given to the customer. But here in certain situations are there where these types of notice is not also required. The banker can club the account, the banker can combine the balance of both the accounts without giving information to the customer, without giving written notice to the customer. That's why these situations are known as the automatic right of set off. Clear? I hope it is clear. In case of this situation which we discussed in ingredients parts, here the banker has to inform the customer in a written notice that banker is going to combine the balance. But here automatic right of set off are some of the situations where banker is having the right to combine the balance without information of the customer or without the consent of the customer. So that's why these types of situations are known as the automatic right of set off. So which are they? The first is on the death and the mental incapacity or insolvency of a customer. When the customer who is having both the accounts, clear? So that example we have taken, that current account and the savings account. If that person become the insolvent person, or the death occur of that person, or the person become mentally not sound, in that situation, the banker can club the accounts without the consent of the customer to recover the amount. The second, on the insolvency or liquidation of a firm. When suppose the customer is working in a firm, if the firm become insolvent, or there is a chances that the firm is going to be for liquidation in the next month or in the next week, if the banker comes to know about this information of the insolvency or liquidation of a firm, in that situation what the banker can do without the consent of the customer, without informing the customer, the banker can club the balance and the banker can recover the amount which is due. The third situation on the receipt of garnishee order, as I already told in the last lecture also, that garnishee order is a topic that we are going to discuss in detail in the last of this chapter. So here in short, I just want to say that garnishee order is an order of court which is given by court on the account balance of the customer. Clear? So here before exercising the garnishee order, the banker can recover the amount. Suppose in the savings account there is a balance of 10,000 and the banker has to recover 3,000. And if the garnishee order is received by the banker, so the garnishee order is not applicable on 10,000. This is applicable on just 7,000. Why? Because before exercising the garnishee order, the banker can recover this 3,000 which is due. So the garnishee order will be applicable only and only on 7,000. The next is on receiving of notice of assignment of customer's credit balance. I hope you know the meaning of assignment. Assignment means transfer of the ownership, title and benefits of the account to the next party. Yeah, if you are going to transfer the ownership of your account which having the credit balance and the your another account is having the debit balance with the same banker, in that situation, if you want to request what is the procedure of assignment, you have to fill the form of assignment and you have to submit with the banker. And if the banker is received this type of form of assignment from the customer, in that situation, before assigning the account to the next party, what the banker can do, the banker can recover the amount which is debit, which showing the debit balance in the next account of the customer. The same example I am giving, the overdraft is the 10,000 and saving account in the current account overdraft is 10,000 and the second is the savings account having the balance of 25,000. If the customer wants to assign this savings account to the next party which having the balance of 25,000, so that first of all the banker will receive the amount of overdraft, this is 10,000 in the current account, and after that only the 15,000 can be assigned to the next party, can be transferred to the next party. Clear? I hope it is clear. And the next point is on receiving the notice of a second mortgage over the security charge to the banker. Here I am giving just a very simple example to you of FD. Clear? Because you all of you may be having a FD. You all are familiar with the fixed deposit accounts. So here I am giving very simple example of fixed deposit account. Why? Because all the students are familiar with these types of account. I am not giving the example of any other securities because you may not have the practical knowledge about this mortgage, but you may heard about this fixed deposit account. So suppose if you are having a high amount of fixed deposit for a longer time period, and on the basis of security of that fixed deposit, if a customer wants the loan, so the customer is able to take the loan as per the rule of Banking Regulation Act. Suppose you are having the FD of 10 lakh rupees and if you want the loan of just 2 lakh rupees, so on the security of that FD account you are having in the same bank, you are entitled to get the loan of 2 lakh rupees. But suppose this is the case of, suppose take an example BOB, and if you want to take the second loan of again suppose 1 lakh rupees, second loan you want to take for 1 lakh rupees from Axis Bank, and you kept your same FD as a security which you are having in BOB. So in that situation, what you are going to do, you are going to take two loans from the different banks on the security of same FD account. So in that situation, the first banker is having the right to recover the loan amount from FD. Why? Because in that situation, you kept your security you have kept your asset. Here asset is a FD. You kept your asset as a security again with the second banker. So here the ownership on the FD is bifurcated between the two bankers. So the first banker, if the banker wish, so the banker can recover the amount from the FD without informing you. Why? Because the second mortgage is charged over that security. Why? Second mortgage means second security. You kept your asset as a security to the next banker again. So this type of process is known as the mortgage. So in that situation, the banker can recover the amount without informing the customer. So these all are the situations which known as the automatic right of set-off. In that situation, the banker can exercise the right of set-off. The banker can club the balance of both the accounts without informing to the customers. Clear? That's why this is known as the automatic right of set-off. I hope it is clear. What we did, the first one, ingredients of the setup. What do you mean by ingredients? Ingredients means some of the basic conditions that must be fulfilled. If these conditions are fulfilled, then only the banker can exercise the right of setup. Then only the banker can combine both the accounts. If any of these conditions is not fulfilled, then the banker cannot exercise the right of setup. These four conditions must be fulfilled. Clear? Out of four, if any single condition is not fulfilled, then banker cannot club the accounts. The banker cannot combine the balance of both the accounts. I hope it is clear. The second is the automatic right of set-off. Here these are 5 situations is given to you. If this situation arise, with the banker. In that particular situation, the banker can combine the balance of both the accounts without informing to the customer and without asking the consent from the customer. Of course, yes, after combining the account, the banker can inform the customer that this type of activity is done by the banker. But before combining the account, as per the rule, there is a no legal restriction that the consent is necessary. Clear? If the banker can wish, then the banker can ask for the consent. But as per the rule, there is a no compulsion to ask for the consent of the bank customer. The banker can club the account without informing to the customer also if these types of situation arise. That's why these situations are known as the automatic write-off setup. These situations are just an examples of automatic write-off setup. What do you mean by this? On certain conditions, automatic write-off setup means there are certain conditions arise. In that condition or in that situations, the banker can exercise the right of setup without informing the customer in a written form. Of course, after combining the accounts, the banker can inform to the customer, but for combining the balance of the account, the consent of the customer is not at all required. That's why that type of situation is known as the automatic write-off setup. I hope it is clear to you all. Then in the next lecture, we are going to discuss that the bankers right to charge interest and commissions. Clear? The banker can charge you interest, the banker can charge you commission, the banker can also charge you some incidental charges. So these all are the rights of the banker that the banker is having that we are going to discuss in next lecture. What we did in today's lecture, we revised the topic that is the banker's right to set off. What do you mean by this? So this, if you want to write the meaning, then that red one is the meaning. Just read it once again. What do you mean by banker's right of set-off? That banker's right of set-off is the right of the bank to combine the two accounts of the same persons. Focus here that there must be a same person. Suppose Mr. Ram is having a current account, clear, and Mr. Ram and Mr. Shyam, they are having joint savings account. In that situation, both the accounts cannot be combined, both the accounts cannot be clubbed. Why? Because the current account is registered with the name of Mr. Ram and the saving account is registered with the joint name, that is Mr. Ram and Mr. Shyam. In that situation, the banker cannot combine both the accounts. There is a basic necessity that both the accounts must be registered with the same persons. Yeah. So here the right of the set-off is the right of a banker to combine the two accounts of the same person where one account shows the credit balance and the another account shows the debit balance. In order to cover a loan means here loan means it is not necessary that loan is taken. Loan means they want to say that amount which is in default. Clear? Loan means this is not the situation of loan always. It may be any interest which is due, it may be any commission which is due, it may be the overdraft facility, any amount which is due to collect. Clear? Any amount with the banker is having the right to collect that for that amount here loan word is used. Clear? Loan means just a loan is not that so. Loan amount here, loan default means whatever amount that banker is having the right to collect the amount from the customer and that amount is due to pay and the customer is not able to pay. So for that amount, the banker can exercise the right of setup. The banker can club both the accounts with registered with the same of the same persons. So this right to combine both the accounts which the person with the bank, which the customer is having in the same bank, this right of the banker is known as the right of set off. I hope it is clear to you. This is done for today. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss the banker's right to charge the interest and commission. What I want to say that the books is also available for this subject in the market. Try to collect the books if you can and start reading. As you all know, always I'm saying that learning is a continuous process and this is the best time to invest in books. You can learn more and more contents and you can read other books also that is not the part of your syllabus. So try to read more and more books here. Try to invest your time in some of the productive work. Here productive work means I want to say that the now knowledge gaining work. So try to get more and more knowledge because this is the best time. there's no burden over you, but what I want to say that this is the time that is not going to come again. Clear? Situation may change, any situation may be there outside, but you are at home, and what is the best activity that you can do at your home is just reading the good books, as said by the someone that books are the best knowledge. If the person is going to read the books, that book will help them lifetime. The knowledge the person will get, that knowledge will help him or her lifetime. Anywhere you may not be aware that where the book is going to help you, but of course 110% the knowledge is going to help you somewhere in your life. So start reading. You can read the your subject related book, or you can read any other book in which you have the interest, but start reading. Learning is always and always a continuous process. So now we are going to meet in the next lecture. Have a good day. Thank you.